Fuzion here, back with another reaction video. I got two videos coming out today, this one, and I just dropped another one earlier, so make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. That one's more so about the Draymond Green incident, so I thought that was interesting. 76ers and Nets. The 76ers won 96-84. Tyrese Maxey went crazy. Joel Embiid had 20 and 19. Played okay. And then James Harden did playoff James Harden things. If you've watched any of my other videos talking about the 76ers and my thoughts on the 76ers, I've called this. I've said multiple times that James Harden will play great a couple games in a row and then for some reason just forget that he's a good basketball player. He'll start taking bad shots. You start seeing him bad body language. He went 3 for 13 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3, 5 turnovers. Like, you're not gonna win games like that. You're not. Luckily, Tobias Harris had 20 as well, so they made up for his 8 points, but they're not gonna win a championship if he's playing like that every other game, every 2 games. That's not gonna happen. So let's go ahead and see what they gotta say here. But this just proves again that James Harden is a fraud.
Sixers play in the first half.
No, I mean, they looked goofy and disinterested, but I think the way we saw them flip that switch, as we keep talking, in the second half, I'm obviously not, I have no rooting interest, but is this the year that Philly gets over the hump?
No.
I think we've seen, game 1 was practically perfect. I think they finished the game with 9 turnovers, had 5 through 3 quarters. James Harden was terrific. Last night, Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, all those guys moving around, Joel Embiid has been terrific in terms of dealing with the double team and finding the right guys and making the right plays. And so, no, I think James Harden said to me post-game after game 1, the single most important thing was going to be for that team to remain even keel, not too high, not too low. And I think within that includes executing and running their stuff. I think if they do that, this could be a special year for them.
What Brooklyn is trying to do here, they are outmatched, they're outsized. They're trying to muck the game up. And I think you're going to have halves, you're going to have quarters in this series where Philly looks out of sorts because it's difficult to catch rhythm. If your hub, Joel Embiid, is literally getting double teamed, and they mixed it up a little bit more last night, but in game 1 they double teamed him on the catch every single time. You're going to have stretches where it looks a little messed up. Now, I would actually argue I'm encouraged by the first 2 games with Philadelphia. This was a team that was #1 in the league in three-point percentage. They were 14 of 21 on open three-pointers in game 1. Last night they shot 52% on open shots. Joel has been patient. He's made the right read more often than not. I thought in the first half he got a...
Look, man, like, we understand that, and when are we gonna talk about James Harden? I'm tired of y'all giving this nigga a pass. I'm getting upset, bro. I'm getting upset. Let's go ahead and fight. Y'all keep giving this nigga a pass. And, you know, I remember when James Harden was being touted as the best, as the second best 2 guard to play basketball. One of the best scorers of all time. I've heard that. I've heard the argument that James Harden is like the greatest one-on-one scorer ever. I've heard that argument. But every single time we get to the playoffs and this shit happens, no one wants to say anything. Come on, dude. Let me go ahead and see if they say something, because this is starting to get crazy.
Standing behind Joel Embiid, it's like me standing behind Perkins.
What is that?
I made this yesterday on TV. I mean, when I see something, you play down to the competition. And I'm not disrespecting the Brooklyn Nets. stats. I like what they've done. I like some of the pieces that they have. I like seeing Cameron Johnson drop 28 last night. I like seeing him get his groove on. I've always liked him as a player. I love Mikal Bridges. We get all of that. We understand what they have. But I joked about this yesterday on TV.
76ers to win by 20 every game.
Standing behind Joel Embiid, it's like me standing behind Perkins. You'll never find him. I mean, he's just so massive compared to them. It's like, it's a shame. They look like dwarfs next to him, for crying out loud. So obviously they're gonna double and practice. And I appreciate the breakdown. As usual, you're right on the money. Nobody's disputing it. I'm just simply saying, it's like, yeah, it's exactly what we thought. I mean, you're the Philadelphia 76ers. This was the problem with Doc Rivers. He's looking at them, y'all taking these brothers lightly. Let's amp it up. Let's get them up out of here. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a damn shame if the series goes 5 games, to be quite honest with you, because in Doc Rivers' eyes, it shouldn't. Take them out. Stop wasting time with them. Stop playing around. And we've seen it as a reporter. You've seen it many years where people play down. All of a sudden, you hyped up. You got elite competition waiting for you. Your game elevates sometimes. And sometimes when you see inferior competition and you know you can amp it up anytime you want to, sometimes you take your time doing so. And that is what I've seen from the 76ers. They took their time. And when it was time, they said, okay, let's finish this off and get to game 3. That's all.
I'm so sorry you're bored by this series. I am so sorry.
Sleep.
So you're not concerned when competition gets stiffer.
No. When competition gets stiffer, you'll see the 76ers level of play elevate. In the case against Brooklyn, I mean, please, they were sleep before.
Playoff performances from his team, some lack of adjustments maybe within a series. I thought he's made 2 adjustments or an adjustment in both games. Game 1, Mikal Bridges had a big first half.
Okay. It doesn't look like that we are going to touch on James Harden, of course, but I'm not going to let you get away. I feel like, there's... and it sounds like I'm hating. I'm not hating. I just think that we need to keep everything even, If someone has a bad game, we're going to call it out. If a star has a bad game, we call it out. Playoff P, Westbrook, all of those. Like, when they play bad, we call them out. But for some odd reason, when James Harden plays bad in multiple playoff positions, and sometimes he'll have 30, but it's a horrible 30, horrible passes, horrible shot selection, horrible turnovers, and nobody calls it out because he has 30, and then they be like, oh, well, he didn't have any help. But when you see him play, you're just like, okay, they don't ever have a chance to help. So I feel like we need to be calling that out. And the 76ers need to play like they played Game 1. Put these boys away. Don't let them get any momentum, because when an underdog sees an opportunity, like to win a game, they're going to play it like it's a finals game. You can expect Mikal Bridges to randomly have a 30-point game. Cam Thomas, I believe his name, he go have another 40-point game. I think that the Nets are going to sneak one win. And I think once that happens, I think the 76ers are going to have an interesting next game if they do lose. Because I think Doc Rivers is going to get on their ass, as he should. That's everything, man. I'm sort of disappointed on how they're not calling out James Harden. The 76ers won, but James Harden has to be effective every game for them to make a possible finals run / appearance. That's my thoughts on it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.